can't afford, the highest speed internet or anything like that, then how do you actually have access in a way that allows you to be able to be at least on the same level in terms of having access to information as the other students? So that's a tough one, but it's one we're committed to.
Main goals as UCF's new president is student success. He says he's working with the university to provide students the option to check out materials they need, such as laptops. Nightly News will keep you updated on how UCF plans to help students distance learn.
If you thought career professionals were the only ones laid off from their jobs due to COVID-19, think again. As of March of this year, the Chronicle of Higher Education reports that over 200 universities across the country either laid off, furloughed, or didn't renew student employee contracts, affecting over 50,000 employees. UCF is home to hundreds of student workers, but some are still struggling to find a job. Student union employee Paige McFarland is currently back working on campus after being furloughed during the spring semester.
I think it's very much of a blessing to still have a job, because I know a lot of people can't find a job. They were furloughed, they're still on furlough. So I think it's a blessing.
A recent Axios poll shows 75% of students had their work canceled, moved, remote, or delayed. With virtual and work-from-home jobs on the rise, many students are taking to social media to look for their next job opportunity. Although work may not be the same, McFarland says she's grateful to still be working during the pandemic.
Coming up after the break, does coronavirus have you moving back home this semester? Stay tuned to find out what your options are when breaking a lease.
Plus, some students are worried about moving on campus after taking a COVID-19 test. Find out what UCF is doing to ensure student safety while moving into campus housing.
And later, we'll see which changes UCF officials are making to transportation on campus. Some UCF students are having trouble getting out of their lease agreements due to COVID-19 complications. UCF Knightly reporter Taylor Toole tells us more about students in this situation.
And hundreds of posts from students on Facebook making last-ditch efforts to sublease their apartments. Many with plans to move back home as more classes go remote and budgets get tighter during COVID-19. Elizabeth Reagan says she was one of them until she successfully subleased her apartment to a female student, only for it to fall through without warning from her apartment complex after setting up life back home.
The girl that had taken my room had bailed, went AWOL, she blocked me on everything.
While other students may still try to break their lease, Reagan, a theater major, says she's going to face the music.
I don't want to ruin my time at UCF, the little time that I have left since I'm a senior. So I'd rather just suck it up and move back here and live in the apartment I'm paying for.
Officials from the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulations say some leases protect tenants with a force majeure or freedom of liability clause where a pandemic is considered an act of God. But other leases don't. FDBPR officials say they urge renters to read the fine print to avoid paying hefty termination fees or being stuck in a lease. As for Reagan's advice,
don't put all your eggs in one basket.
To learn more about lease law and how to protect yourself, you can visit floridabar.org. In Orlando, Taylor Toole, UCF Knightly News.
Thanks, Taylor. Issues on housing on campus have also been a result of COVID-19 housing and residence life, so students can continue moving into on-campus dorms now until December 14th. So far, UCF reports over 160 positive COVID-19 cases from students moving in. UCF Knightly reporter Lauren Margolis has more on this story.
Classes in session and students choosing to stay on campus have been moving in. UCF says students living on campus have to take a coronavirus test at Garage A before getting their keys. They're allowed to move in immediately after their drive-by test, which has raised some concerns for students. Freshman Cameron Morano says she was already living at Neptune for 3 days before her results came back negative.
It's just scary because I don't want to just stay inside my dorm room, but I also don't want to come in contact with a bunch of people.
Morano says she feels unsafe knowing other students can move in who may have COVID-19.
Morano says she almost visited her friends living on the floor above her who all tested positive, each one feeling different symptoms, one feeling no symptoms at all.
However, other students like Mark Brueggemann says he feels safer in his dorm than at home. Brueggemann has asthma and says he's been extra careful limiting his contact with people.
I just pretty much sat in my room until I got the all clear and then went out and hung out with my roommates in our shared space after I got the results back.
Brueggemann says he has one in-person class, but as case numbers continue to rise, university officials say that may all change. In Orlando, Lauren Margolis, UCF Nightly News.
COVID testing is available at Parking Garage A from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Students are now back on campus and back in the gym. UCF's Rec and Wellness Center is open, but with new guidelines in place. UCF Nightly reporter Lexi Vasquez tells us more on how RWC is helping keep students safe during COVID-19.
This semester, Phase 2 of RWC's reopening plan will be in effect. The RWC will close for daily cleaning to provide the safest environment possible. The gym has a max capacity of 100 people. And those who are wanting to work out will need to make a reservation ahead of time on the UCF RWC app. Social distancing is strictly enforced throughout the RWC, and face masks will be needed to worn at all times. RWC Fitness Graduate Assistant Michael Spudner says the more responsible students are, the more likely there can be group classes at the gym again, as well as access to machines that are currently off limits.
You're only going to be safe coming into the facility if you're practicing safe and clean habits outside as well.
Some weights and machines throughout the gym are blocked off to keep people 6 feet apart. RWC faculty is also asking that students wipe down equipment before and after use. Those who are still not ready to go to the gym, the RWC is offering many ways for students to stay fit while staying safe. Something new that the RWC is offering for students so they feel safe while working out is boot camp. Classes are held in Parking Garage B on the 2nd floor. This circuit-style class provides a full-body workout while maintaining social distancing. UCF event management major Savannah Zavir says she feels safe breathing the air outside in a larger space compared to being inside the RWC.
We're all very more than 6 feet distant apart. trainer does a great job, and he wears his mask the whole time, walks back and forth for everyone, so I feel like they do really well with it.
Faculty at the RWC says they'll continue to make improvements to make sure that students continue to feel safe while working out. In Orlando, Lexi Vasquez, UCF Nightly News.
To get more information on what else the RWC will be doing throughout the semester to keep those in the gym safe, visit their Instagram page at UCF RWC.
UCF Dining Services is also doing its part to keep the community safe. Dining Services added new safety measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19 on campus. From dining halls to restaurants, everyone is required to wear a mask when they're not eating and drinking. Increased sanitation efforts includes employees frequently changing their gloves, washing their hands, and cleaning high contact areas. Students are able to use physically distant seating indoors or outdoors. They are also encouraged to place mobile orders on Grubhub to quickly pick up food and avoid waiting in line. Students can still get grab-and-go meals from the dining halls, but the green reusable containers will no longer be permitted. Instead, food will be served in a disposable container.
Regulations on campus are continuously changing due to COVID-19, and transportation options are no exception. Parking and transportation officials announced seating capacity on all shuttles is reduced to 20% and standing room is suspended. Students will not be able to ride spin scooters on campus since the Emerging Issues and Crisis Response Team, or ESCRT, decided to remove them. Student Government's Transportation Safety Coordinator, Alexandra Fabregas, says ESCRT's decision to remove the scooters is to minimize the number of students visiting the health center.
They felt that if spin were to be eliminated, and this would reduce the amount of students going to the health center, because they felt that the health center was already going to be so overwhelmed with COVID cases and so overwhelmed.
The Night Ride program, which helps students and faculty get around campus safely after dark, is also canceled. Students are encouraged to use the Safe Walk feature found in the UCF mobile app, or they can call the UCF Police Department's non-emergency line and request an escort. Both options existed before the semester, but are now marketed now because of limited options. Coming up after the break, find how the pandemic has affected students' mental health and what UCF is doing to help. The Healthy Minds Network and the American College Health. Never mind. Okay. What is? I don't.
The Healthy Minds Network and the American College Health Association released a survey showing the percentage of students reporting mental health and substance abuse problems has increased significantly. UCF Knightly News reporter Jenna Ehrlich has more.
Of college students say the pandemic made it harder to get mental health care, according to a survey by the Healthy Minds Network for research on adolescent and young adult mental health. Mental health counselor George Lopez at Counseling and Psychological Services, CAPS, at UCF says at first they saw a drop in students reaching out for help when the pandemic first started.
There was a decrease only because due to the nature of the COVID and the closures, we were seeing a lot of students experience issues with housing, issues with trying to have to go back home, issues with accessibility.
Lopez also says with students accepting the new reality of COVID and being back on campus, different counseling options are being made available so more students are able to seek help again. CAPS is limiting contact as much as they can with online workshops and online counseling. For students who do not have access to a computer at home, they are also providing private rooms with access to a computer. UCF sophomore Mark Brueggemann has recently gone back to seeking counseling at CAPS since the pandemic started.
Going back to CAPS during this summer was definitely beneficial since the pandemic caused me to go back to an environment where my mental health wasn't the greatest.
Lopez urges students to consider their mental health and call CAPS if you need to. He says the services are available to UCF students and they will work with you. In Kissimmee, Kai Rodriguez, UCF Nightly News.
Students wanting more information on what services CAPS offers can visit caps.sdes.ucf.edu.
It's almost fall, but we aren't feeling those cool temperatures just yet. Charlotte, what's the weather going to be like today?
You're right, Easton. It is very hot. So let's take a look at today's current conditions. It's currently 93 degrees with an 88% humidity, southwest winds coming at us at 3 miles an hour, and a chance of rain at about 20%. Now tonight, we will see the temperatures drop just a little bit to 78 degrees, but there is an 82% of humidity, southeast winds coming at us at 7 miles per hour, and a 20% chance of rain. So let's look at the 5-day forecast as we head into this holiday weekend. On Saturday, it's a 93-degree high and 76 low with a 20% chance of rain. Sunday, 91 degrees is a high, 76 is a low with a 20% chance of rain. Now this Labor Day, on Monday, 87 degrees is the high, 75 is the low, but a 50% chance of rain. So you may want to have an umbrella just in case. Now on Tuesday, we see the high of 89 degrees with 75 low and an 80% chance of rain. And then on Wednesday, it's going to be 89 degrees with a 76 degrees as a low and a 60% chance of rain. So have a raincoat just in case. And the 2020 hurricane season is in full swing, and UCF students are covered in case of an emergency. The National Hurricane Center has reported 15 tropical storms this past season, with more on the horizon. Manager of Knight's Pantry, Elias Valentine, has not worked through a hurricane in a pandemic, but says he is hopeful that UCF protocol will continue to keep students safe. And UCF spokeswoman says hurricane protocols like ride-out locations for students living on campus are determined by the size and intensity of a storm, regardless of the pandemic. For updates on potential weather threats on campus, follow UCF and UCF Police on social media. That's all the time I have for weather today. Back to you, Easton and Fritz.
Stay tuned next for sports.
Learn how UCF is limiting the bet 25% this season and how it will affect season ticket holders.
Hey Knights fans, I'm Madison Little and here's your sports update. UCF football posted to social media this morning that the game against UNC, which was scheduled for today, has been canceled due to COVID-19. And now back to Easton and Fritz.
That's our time for right now. Oh, sorry.
COVID-19 and keep fans safe, face masks and social distancing will be enforced at the game, and all tickets will be digital. The capacity limit allows around 11,000 fans to enter the stadium, reserving 3,000 seats for students. Tickets will be sold through a lottery system on a game-by-game basis, meaning no season tickets will be honored. An email sent to those who have put money toward or purchased their season tickets states they can use that money to purchase single game tickets. The email also presents 3 options for any additional credit. The fan can donate their remaining money to the Keep Charging On Fund, a fund created to support UCF athletics. They can apply the credit to the 2021 season or receive a refund.
That's our time for right now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our website, nightlynews.ucf.edu.
And if you've got a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at nightlynews@ucf.edu. Thank you for watching and have a great day.